I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Owning a Nissan and off-roading or motorsports or anything of that nature, you're going to be working on a lot. And I'm fine with that because I'm competent in it. So let's stop whining and let's start wrenching. Had some issues with the axle when we were doing the Trans-New Jersey Trail. Heard some clunking and decided, hey, let's see what's wrong with it. So let's pull it into the shop, get it up on the lift. Let's take a look and see what's making all that clanking noise and how we can fix it. I'll spare you the 30 seconds it takes to even have this thing go up on the lift and just speed it up at least 5 times for you. You're welcome. As soon as I pull the wheel off, I should have a pretty good idea of what's going on. I'm pretty sure it was the axle. That was my guess when we were out there. Just to be sure, I'm going to pull up and look anyway, and if it is bad, I'm going to replace it. I bought one that I wanted to have as a spare, so we're just going to swap it out. Judging by the condition of the axle, I'm going to go ahead and say this is bad. This is completely blown out. This is exactly why when it wasn't 4-wheel at the end of the trip, it was kind of real sketchy. When I took it at a 4-wheel drive and back into 2-wheel, the odd sensation of my axle throwing that thing in a circle like sexy red stopped. That gave me a pretty clear indication that the front axle was bad. I knew of the conditions of the axles when I initially bought this truck, and I knew at some point they were finally going to go, and that's why I had the spares laying around locally. I feel like every time I do anything on the independent front suspension on these first gen Xterras, the entire hub assembly needs to just come off. And then when I take out the lower ball joint, I should be able to move the axle out freely and slip it on out. Time to bust out the old locking hub socket I made a couple of videos ago. I don't think I'm ever gonna actually buy one. I think I'm just gonna keep using this thing because it works just fine. Or maybe I'm just poor and spiteful. Who knows? And just like your ex on a Friday night, we're going to take out this flaccid, spent axle and put on a new stiff one immediately. Now it's just reversal of the same exact steps we just took to get it out, but now we're just putting it back in. My half-inch stubby, or Milwaukee the Stallion Jr., really gets put to work on these suspension jobs. It's always good to check the conditions of your bearings as well when you're repacking them to put them in. Make sure they're all in one piece and not just falling out like marbles. Now you can see when I'm using my limited edition Nismo special order Nissan tool here that I'm only doing this to snug, and then I'm going to actually torque it to spec and try to line those holes for the Phillips screw. I'm also going to clean all the excess grease off the rotor and the brakes, that way we don't slide into your ex's DMs just like that one dude she told you not to worry about. Now we're just gonna torque the lugs down with Milwaukee the Stallion Senior, and we should be all done. Well, now that the new axle's in, that was really the only maintenance I had to do to this thing after the trip, which I'm pretty impressed. It always could be worse, it could be a Ford. If your axle ain't busting bags out the Bentley like Cardi B, then you ain't wheeling hard enough. Or maybe you could actually afford good parts, unlike me. Thanks for watching Escapism.